everyone, here to review Raw results for Monday, February 6th, 2023. Now, excellent show, seemed to move pretty quick. 3 hours can drag if you're not doing it right, but I think the booking has gotten much better under Triple H. I think everybody sees that. Let's dive right in. Started out with Edge and Beth Phoenix challenging Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley at Elimination Chamber. I'm not a huge fan of mixed tag matches. They tend to get a little wonky and off, only because you have this constant back and forth when one tags, the other tags. It never seems to stay. Uh, there's no sustained push through the match, which is it is what it is. But the talent of the four people involved in this, who knows? Maybe I'll be proven wrong, which I'd be happy with. I would rather see this be a great match because the four people involved, supremely talented. Edge and Beth have had a little, bit of a layoff, but I think they'll be ready to go in this match, and I think it'll probably end up being a good match. I just always get worried seeing mixed tag matches. They never turn out quite how you want. Next match, Damian Priest defeats Angelo Dawkins to qualify for the Elimination Chamber. I don't know if you were watching this match, but if you get the chance to watch the highlights, if you didn't see the match, the pop that Angelo Dawkins got for that Swanton bomb, whew, man, was it incredible. I love seeing guys like this Angelo Dawkins could be a singles champ in the future. He should be. His tag team with Montez Ford, the two of them have enough talent, and man, can they talk. They can work the stick like that. They should be, both of them should be singles champs in the future. But this match was very good. Damian Priest wins with South of Heaven choke slam. Is it me, or does that move look weak as a finisher? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't know. Maybe my expectations are too high. He's so good in the ring. Seeing him use that move, I feel like if you're going off your feet like that with a choke slam, it doesn't look strong enough. But I don't know. It works for him right now, but I'd love to see him get a different finisher in the future. Great match. These two work really well together. They have good chemistry. I would love to see them get Dawkins involved, in something else. Since he's not in Elimination Chamber, I hope they do something with the tag division at WrestleMania. They need something else now that the titles are all unified. It's difficult because there's not enough championships to go around for the amount of talent that they have, and it's nice to see that the tag team division actually has a dearth of actual talent, because under Vince's leadership, tag team division was not taken as seriously as it should have been. That's okay. Great match though. Love watching Damian Priest work, especially. I think he's a better tweener than a heel or a face, but for right now, he does some great work, and I love the fact they put him in the Elimination Chamber. I'm wondering now that 3 of the 4 people have something to do at Elimination Chamber. I'm wondering if Dominic is going to end up, in a head-to-head with his father, if they're going to save that for WrestleMania, which I would assume. That makes the most sense. But they got to figure out something to do with him at Elimination Chamber. I think it'd be kind of a crime if he didn't get to work. I'm sure he'll be at ringside for, one of the 2 matches. But it would be, wrong to not have him out there. I think it'd be good for him to have that experience. Get out there, on that pay-per-view, and be involved somehow. I don't like that he's kind of sitting on the sidelines right now. Next, you have Dexter Lumis defeats Baron Corbin. I don't know. Maybe I'm one of the few Dexter Lumis fans. I'm not sure. I really like Dexter Lumis. This is a guy in NXT that I used to love watching. I love the stalker angles. He was the silent killer type. That can be a championship character because his eyes are extremely expressive. I love the way he works. He can carry a storyline without talking, as he did in NXT, and it was excellent. I don't know if they're messing up with Baron Corbin. We'll have to see where this story goes. He keeps losing, and I'm sure that they've probably got a plan as it's headed somewhere. That remains to be seen, though. I'd have less worry about it now than I would if it was Vince booking it. Triple H seems to have plans for everybody, and he seems to work guys in and out. Guys get wins, guys get losses, but there's always a reason. But I can say it was a good match. Seems like the ending kind of came out of nowhere. Maybe that's just me. I would like to see them start to, push this story forward with Baron Corbin because I remember in NXT, the fans would count because the man didn't get paid by the hour, and he's got one of the better finishers in all of WWE. That finisher is really cool. It's unique, and I'd like to see him actually, get to a point where he's a loner again. I used to love that lone wolf character. Not a huge fan of the, Happy Corbin, Bum Corbin. Not a huge fan of that stuff. I used to like Lone Wolf Corbin a lot. But either way, very good match. A little bit of rest holds here and there, but that works for his character. And I like the fact that they let Loomis win. I think you're going to see something in the future with Baron Corbin and JBL. I think that would be cool. Moving on, the Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley. Poor Bobby Lashley. Good Lord. I love that they're kind of setting this up to have him get back with MVP. Later in the show, you'll see the tag team match with Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, who haven't had wins. Suddenly, MVP's in the corner. Things start to change. Bobby Lashley coming down, and getting in the ring with Lesnar. I give him all the credit in the world to begin with because I wouldn't jump in the ring with Brock Lesnar. He is. I did not think he would make a very good personality as a good guy without a mouthpiece. Man, was I wrong. He seems like he's having so much fun right now, just getting out there in front of the crowd. And I hope it continues. I love watching that. Give me more of this Brock Lesnar. Of the weird Viking cowboy Brock Lesnar with the $5 vest. I'll take that any day. It's hilarious. But Bobby eats, two F5s. It would have been one, but the crowd was calling for another one. I don't like that they made him look kind of weak, but maybe that's all part of the transition into being, being a loser without MVP and then getting back with MVP and being a winner again. But either way, I think this was a very good segment. Didn't last very long, but it did exactly what you needed it to do. It set it up. It set up the match that you need to have, and I think you're going to see a really cool match coming out of this at Elimination Chamber. I think they probably have a good plan going into it. Next up, an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. It's Carmella, Michin, the former Mia Yim, Candice LeRae, and Piper Niven. Now, I honestly thought Piper Niven would win this match. I wanted Candice LeRae to win it. I thought they would have Piper Niven win this because she can be that monster heel, that giant presence that they're scared, that everybody else is scared of. I was a little surprised it was Carmella. I really was. I'm not sure what the reasoning is behind it. Carmella has had her run with the championship. She's won Money in the Bank a couple times. I honestly thought she would have been the last person that would have gotten this win. But be that as it may, I did like that it wasn't Carmella that finished the match against LeRae. It was Carmella hits the Bronco Buster, avoids Piper Niven, who crushes LeRae in the corner, and then she steals the win by super kicking Niven out of the ring and taking the pin. That's the right way to do that. And maybe it's just me. Man, is her moonwalk really good. I have to give her that. That moonwalk is excellent. But not a huge fan of that choice to put in the chamber. But I understand it. But a good win for Carmella, and we'll see where that match goes. Cedric Alexander, here we go. This is a match I was excited for. Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin against Alpha Academy, Chad Gable and Otis. The middle of the match, kind of beginning middle, where Alexander goes for his neuralizer. He does the front flip, springs with his legs off of the ropes, and he jumps back and does the kick. But he doesn't turn. Chad Gable catches him and immediately into a German suplex. And it was absolutely perfect. It was seamless, and I love it. I don't know why Gable doesn't get a bigger push. He deserves it. The man is so good. He's another, I hate to say it this way because I don't want to compare him, but he's another Kurt Angle. The man can absolutely flat out go in the ring. He's excellent on the mic. He's more natural than Angle was on the mic. But it's good to see that, he's getting his TV time. And he's funny. He's really funny. This match, man, did it move. Even Otis was on his horse in this one. They were all, you know, moving through this match. There was no real boring parts to this match. Everything had a point. Seeing that German suplex, and then after that, how they started to, phase into the match. Now that you kind of have MVP calling out orders, it's showing that, okay, MVP is the guide for those two to get them back into their winning ways. The right decision here, having Alexander and Benjamin go over. I don't think you make Gable and Otis look, bad at all. They look great throughout the match. It just Alexander and Benjamin had the wisdom of MVP in their corner, and that's why they won. All that momentum. Now you're probably going to see a situation where the Monday Night Raw following Elimination Chamber, Bobby Lashley lost. It goes back to MVP almost with his tail tucked between his legs to ask for help. Can't wait to see the Hurt Business reunite. I think they ended that way too early because all of them served a great purpose in that faction. They looked great. They were an excellent team. They all bounced well off of each other. Their personalities gel pretty well. So it'll be nice to see them all get back together because I hate the fact that that all happened mostly during the pandemic. I hate that stuff. The retread needs to happen. I don't like when they don't try again because during the pandemic, with no crowds, what are you going to do? It's not fun. They saw that almost right away when they had Steve Austin on the show, and it doesn't work without the crowd reaction. So I think they need another shot at being the next dominant faction after the bloodline is done. He Cedric Alexander hit his backbreaker. Man, is that a tremendous move for the win, and it looked terrific. I think I would have been more impressed if he somehow hit Otis with it. I don't know that that's even possible. That's a big man, but great match. These guys are all tremendous workers, and I think the right decision to have MVP be the guiding force and have Alexander and Shelton win this one. Next up, Asuka defeats Chelsea Green, and it was nice to see this. All the chamber participants were on the outside for this. There was no interference, but Chelsea Green got caught up jawing at them, which I kind of expected that. The heel does what the heel does, and Asuka, jumped back in the match, was her dominant self, looked really good in the process, and you get the eventual Asuka win. I was very happy they didn't have a brawl afterwards. They didn't just jump in and start beating each other up. It's normally what they do. They went with Bianca coming out and cutting a promo and building everyone up. So if she wins, it'll make her look even stronger. I hate when they run each other down because, okay, so you're beating up a weak guy. What good is it? It makes no sense. If the males or the females come out and they run the other people down, they don't look as good when they win because they're supposed to win. If the people, somebody they're going against is that bad. And if they lose, you look even worse because you should have beat that guy because you told us they're terrible. The right move, the absolute right move. Have them build it up. Bianca Belair didn't seem like she was very, very comfortable out on the mic tonight. Not sure why. Maybe she's just having an off night. That happens. Usually she's very good on the stick. Maybe it just wasn't a natural promo. Maybe this was too scripted for her to be able to naturally flow with it. But either way, she didn't seem supremely comfortable like she usually is. She didn't look like the best. Although we know, man, is she good. But Asuka gets the win, and then we have Belair cutting a nice promo afterwards. That's going to be a good Elimination Chamber match. I'm excited to see these women get in there and really perform and have the chance to have a good Elimination Chamber match, and then that person's going to go on against Belair at WrestleMania, and it'll be well deserved. I really think so. This one was rough. My father and I disagreed with the ending of this promo. So I love this Cody Rhodes. This version of Cody Rhodes is the best version of Cody Rhodes. Really is. Him and Paul Heyman bringing up history between the two families is awesome. Absolutely awesome. I love hearing the old stories. I love hearing, different things that happen. Heyman always gets knocked as a terrible person. He was terrible with money. He wasn't a very good businessman. But then you hear stories like this, and if this is true, which I believe it is, incredible. because what he did for Dusty Rhodes was give him back a piece of himself that he needed to, get back, to being that guy. And it's beautiful to hear because Cody's not running down, Paul Heyman. He's not running down Roman Reigns. In fact, it's the opposite. That's the same thing I talked about when Belair built up the women in the Elimination Chamber. You're building up the people that you need to beat because when you beat them, then you're going to look even better. And I love that. But the line at the end was the sticking point between me and my father. Paul Heyman talks about how proud of Cody Dusty was, and he said, Cody is my favorite son, but Roman Reigns is the son I wish I had. That was a rough line, and I agree with my father on that. Now, it was obviously, Cody and Paul talked about that. I don't think that either of them would ever say something like that or, be in a situation to say something like that without discussing it first. They're both professionals, and you could tell that this was, was set up. But Paul Heyman's acting in this was excellent. The crying, you could see, he was welling up and rubbing his eyes and talking. That man, it's going to be a shame when he's no longer involved because he is that good. What you're seeing is a masterclass in acting out there. Paul Heyman really knows what he's doing. He is excellent. The man was made for this role. And Cody, ever since he's come back, you can see the difference. Cody is, head and shoulders. He's leagues above where he was when he was first in WWE. And he's being given the chance to show his supreme amount of talent. And I love that because that man should get the chance. He is an excellent worker. He proved that, with his work he did around the world. He proved how good he is in AEW. He proved he can carry a title and he can, make that title look better when it's around his waist. I am really excited to see this match. And I think, I want to see them finish the dream. I really want to see Cody go over. And if that's the case, if that is destined to, to be what happens, I think Roman's going to give him the best and make him look like $1 million. I'm not a huge Roman Reigns fan, but you can't deny how good he is. The man is excellent, and he plays his part really well. So, excellent promo work out here. This might be one of the best promos I've seen in an extremely long time. These two were two of the best, and man, are they good together. We get the next match is the Montez Ford versus Elias Elimination Chamber qualifying match, and I got to tell you, just like I said with Dawkins, man, Montez Ford is a future champion by himself. He's a future singles champion. He has some hops, man. I don't know what he does as far as, his legs or what he does as far as explosiveness training, but that man can jump flat out. We've watched him jump over the ropes, but that spot where he jumps over the corner and clears both posts, he almost missed Elias. Elias took the bump, he ducked his head, which, right thing to do, and he rolled off his back. But man, he was that close to missing Elias. That's how hard. Props to these guys. They put on a heck of a match. I love it. I don't think Elias gets enough credit for the talent that he has. I also don't think he gets to show as much as I wish he could. But you can see the heel turn coming. You can see the aggressiveness being picked up, especially with the moves outside that he was doing, using the steps, using the table. I love seeing that. It's beautiful to see him now beginning to show the heel tendencies. At some point, you'll see the turn. Hopefully, they'll push him into a good series, and he'll move on looking stronger for it. But Montez Ford wins with a giant frog splash, man. Eddie Guerrero's frog splash was awesome. Montez Ford might be just as good. I'm not going to say it's better because I don't think anybody did much better than Eddie Guerrero, but it might be just as good. I think it's higher for sure. I think he gets up higher than Eddie did. And that's saying a lot because Eddie was that good. Finally, we get back to the action, and Becky Lynch, Bayley, steel cage, the match we wanted a couple weeks ago. We're finally getting it. The way it ended, to me, I never like the run-ins. I don't like help from the outside. I want to see them come up with a good finish to make both people look strong and just have someone be better. To me, that's the right way to do it. However, this finish with the interference, sets up a WrestleMania match that a lot of people seem to have wanted to see. I don't know that I wanted to see it, but now that it's here, I'm kind of excited for it. I like the two people that are going to be involved a lot, but we'll talk about that at the end. Bailey and Becky working together. I mean, they've worked together for years. NXT, main roster. These two know each other, front and back. They work together really well, and this, I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion. It's not meant as an insult. I don't think Becky Lynch is as naturally gifted athletically as Bailey. I don't know if anybody notices when she climbs. I don't know if it's intentional or not. That's why I say it's not meant as an insult, just what I'm seeing. Becky looks so mechanical when she does stuff, especially on the ropes. She looks more natural when she's, on the mat doing stuff. She doesn't look quite as comfortable. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe it's a comfort thing when she goes up to the top. You can see it when she tries to climb. It looks more mechanical, like she has to almost see it in her head before she does it. And it doesn't take away from the performance. She's still moving and taking her steps and doing everything she needs to do. It just doesn't look as natural. Bailey, she looks so at home when she's climbing the ropes. She looks at home when she's doing that, all the athletic stuff. Could just be the body type. Could just be, maybe Becky doesn't like heights quite as much, and she's not quite as comfortable when she gets up there. Either way, just something I saw. To disarm her at the top of the cage, that was a neat idea. Putting her arm through the cage itself to put it on, that was a neat idea. Becky starting to make the climb down and having Io Sky interfere. I was really upset until the music kicked in and down comes Lita. Okay, now I'm into this. Maybe it's me. Lita started to climb the cage, but Io Sky was like, she was only a foot and a half above the ground. Maybe it's just me, but Lita got out there, started climbing, and realized, looked like she was like, oh, wait, I don't need to do that, and it pulled her off. It looked really awkward. But I loved, she looked real natural again doing she looked real natural hitting the twist of fate on Io Sky. And then, having Bailey lose to Becky Lynch via the manhandle slam because Lita interfered sets up a WrestleMania match between Lita and Bailey, which I didn't know that I wanted, but now that it's here, I'm pretty excited for it. I think it's going to be fun. I don't know if it's going to turn out great. It all depends on Lita. How good a ring shape is she going to be in? Is she going to have any matches beforehand? I think they should try and give her one or two warm up matches, even if it's only at a house show or something like that, or maybe one SmackDown or something. Get her in the ring just to knock the rust off a bit. But this could be a very good match. Lita always scares me when she does her finisher. When she does that moonsault, I always think she's going to break her neck because she doesn't go so much up as she does back. I don't think it's it's just how she does it. She doesn't look bad doing it. It just looks awkward, and I always think she's going to hurt herself. So I'm excited to see the match, and maybe it's just me thinking that Lita's going to be her old self. We all know that's not how it is. When you come back like that, you're not the same as you were. You just have to get yourself back to where you need to be, and you can still go. I think Lita's going to make the match good, and I think Bailey will help carry her. Bailey's an excellent talent. I think everybody knows that. I'm looking forward to seeing the promos. I'm curious to see the promo work between the two. I'm actually excited to see Monday Night Raw to see what happens as far as the promos go. It should be interesting, but I thought it was a very good Monday Night Raw. 3 hours seemed to go pretty quick. All the segments, they didn't drag. I thought that the first segment, which is probably a good thing it was the first segment because it drug a little bit. Edge and Beth Phoenix in the ring talking. I don't know that they seemed, quite in their element for some reason. Maybe that's the wrong way to put it, but they seemed like they weren't, quite as comfortable as usual. Maybe it's just because, they're just getting back, especially Beth. But other than that, everything seemed to move pretty quick. It was nice to see some of the decisions made. Triple H proven once again he's an excellent booker. The matches themselves were great. Right now, WWE seems to be firing on all cylinders. They have their spots that don't look great, but other than that, everything seems to be going pretty well when it comes to that. I would love to see some of these younger guys getting pushed and some of the younger women as well, but man, that'll come in time. We'll see what happens. But what do you think? Let me know. Otherwise, hopefully I'll see you again soon to review more wrestling. Until then, You have a blessed day. I love you, and I'll see you again soon. Later.